There it is.
Is it going?
Yeah, I think so.
He'll about walk in, we're in the middle, but oh well.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Starting a minute or two late today. Pat Henderson isn't quite here. You should be, and Jack is going to be gone all this week and next week.
I think I saw Pat come across the street.
Okay, Pat's on his way.
He had mentioned to me, Mr. Chairman, that he had a correction in the minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked through them and I couldn't see it, but I did see on the last page where it says Counselor Henderson and Foster, that probably should read Counselor Henderson and Dennis Foster versus just Mr. Foster's last name. There's two places right there.
Third paragraph, probably.
Yes. And other than that, but Pat had mentioned someplace where it stated that he said something and it was more Dennis Foster said something. So we may have to wait on that one because I didn't catch it and I just read through them. Here he is now. We were just talking about the minutes and you said that there was something there. I couldn't find it. I did find two other little
Well,
minor things.
It was, I think, very minor, but when I was talking with Dennis Foster about the sanitation code, he had suggested that his agency thought that we should consider adding another chapter. So that wasn't mine. Yeah. So where it says in the second full paragraph, the last sentence, or the first one, where it says, and feels that there should be a full chapter added to the current sanitation code. That was any KES position, not mine. I don't have an opinion one way or the other about it. But
What?
I
where
thought
it
Yeah.
says Counselor Henderson and Foster have discussed strategies,
Okay.
and then it says, and I would just put in there, any KES feels that there should be. So,
Okay.
I made these two notes right here.
Yeah, it would be this, the final page, right in here in this chapter here. Counselor Henderson said that any KS feels that there ought to be a chapter on sanitation codes. So that will have to be reworded. Do you have any other additions or corrections?
Just that that I already mentioned to Linda about where it says Counselor Henderson and Foster. I think that should read Counselor Henderson and Dennis Foster. There's two places where they just state the last name instead of his first name, and I think that should be added.
Okay.
And with those, I'd so move we approve the minutes. Unless you've seen something.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, so I'll second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 2-0. Excuse me. Commissioner comments and committee reports.
I have nothing to comment on, Commissioner or Chairman.
Okay, I had a NECAP board meeting, that was Thursday night, which was cut short because of the storm. But everything seemed to be progressing. We've done a lot of inter-board training, I guess you'd call it. There's so many regulations now on what the board is obligated to be trained and aware of. So that's mainly what we did Thursday. Okay, I guess the next...
Did you have a chance, you'd mentioned about the shakeups where people retiring, did you get involved in that, or is that something you want to keep within that committee?
We haven't had that meeting yet.
I
That's
see.
with the Multnomah County Health
Okay.
Agency.
All right.
And that board meeting is the June 5th, so nothing to
Okay.
report on that.
Okay.
Okay, Seth, you wanna come forward?
All I have is PO for the dump truck that we discussed this morning. And along with that, from American Equipment, the box for the dump truck to turn it into a service truck.
Okay.
So they're gonna equip it with a welder, or are you gonna add that? You just got it on this PO. They're gonna do that?
That's all inclusive, everything, crane, air compressor, generator, welder, box, all installed for that truck.
Did you price some of this stuff out to make sure we're getting a good deal on it? Okay. Okay.
Should we do these separately, shouldn't we?
Probably.
Okay. There's no number on this, so the first one's a PO for a 2008 Ford F550 dump truck for $26,500. It's
What was the mileage on that? You said 56?
56.
Was it a city-owned truck or
I have no idea.
You have no
where it
idea.
came from.
It's wholesale.
90-day warranty or as is, where is?
There's something on that sheet underneath.
Oh, the underneath sheet.
Oh.
The vendor name is Wholesale Direct LLC, St. Joseph, Missouri. And your guy did go look at it with you.
Evaluated it, looked over everything, every inch of it, so our mechanics did.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Should we be considering trading in our service truck on this, or are you just gonna do Purple Wave? Or, okay,
I don't even think they want it.
they're not interested,
I
okay.
wouldn't even be interested in taking it up.
I'd make a motion, we give Seth the authority to give $26,500 for a 2008 Ford F550 dump truck from Wholesale Direct LLC in St. Joe, Missouri.
Second that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass 2-0. And the second PO is service box for our existing former noxious weed truck, correct?
Yes.
And then this is the welder, air compressor, and what's the other, crane? For a total amount of $41,621.
Just from
And the vendor name is American Equipment. Do I hear any discussion on that?
My only question was, on those added that you did price them, that is fair price.
That was a Metro bid pricing, so ever since the Kansas City metro area, that's what they priced those at.
And the flatbed on there now, we were gonna retain that.
We'll retain it for the time being. If we have no use for it, we'll percolate it.
Okay. You gonna make a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we give Seth authorization to spend $41,621, excuse me, for a new service bed truck for Road and Bridge and a boom and what's the van area? Oh, I guess that's air compressor and a welder.
Did you say that the amount was $41,621? And I'll second that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 2-0.
Well, it's kind of a two-weighted sword. Hopefully we get a lot of use out of it, but then that means we're also having a lot of breakdowns. So maybe we don't want to use that truck too much.
Simple fixes. That's what we'll hope for.
Flat tire.
Well, there's only so much you can do
Did
out
you
on the
need to
side of
see
the
that?
road. You can't.
I can only make copies. I can make copies for you back.
I need to get my desk.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay.
It only other thing I had was the 2018 annual noxious weed management plan that I'm bringing up for Connie. I just need a signature from you all.
Do we need to approve it? I mean,
Yeah.
we take a vote on it? Okay. Did you have time to look it over, from this morning?
A little bit, but not. Does that have to be done today? Yes, I can tell by that look. Okay, is it gonna change anything? We don't know what they're gonna decide Friday, but common sense says that they're probably gonna bring she was elected. That's gonna speed your thing up quite a bit, but you're just a phone call away from asking questions.
Correct.
She can assist you a little bit.
We weren't planning on me transferring over so fast, especially in the busy season, but we're gonna make do, and yes, she's a phone call away. Wes was a former one, he's a phone call away.
That's gonna speed up your getting all your stuff, like get your license and all that stuff.
I currently have what the state requires me to have for the noxious director position. I just do not have my test completed yet. I do believe you can appoint me to the position without those tests done. I just have to get it. And hopefully, by the end of the month, we'll have those.
How are we as in the person that's actually gonna do the spraying? Are they got their permits and all their stuff?
They would fall under.
They don't have to have no special schooling or nothing?
Nope.
Wow.
Have to be basically a phone call away from them, so. My goal would be to find somebody that sprays yearly, and they would actually go to the conference, the Durade training conference, to learn. But right now, it's just somebody from the Road and Bridge Department.
I think probably having one person primarily is good, but you may have somebody, a younger guy
Right.
kind of know too, because
I try to have
cross-train, yeah.
I try to have 2 or 3 that know how to run the truck. Right now, we switched to a new person this year, just because I have. The guy I did last year is actually building the roads, so I had to fluctuate people around to make it work.
Well, we've got a lot of that where I think people aren't cross-trained and then we get stuck, so we need that option.
I presume this is the same as last year's, because
I'd
no
say it's
changes.
pretty dang close. There might be a few changes, but nothing major. She would have pointed that out to me. So.
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I so move, Mr. Chairman, we approve the 2018 annual noxious weed management report.
And I'll second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pass 2-0.
You'll probably have to get with Connie. You know, in the past, we've had some state highway issues. They want it sprayed, they don't want it sprayed, they want to pay, they don't want to pay.
I'm working on that right now.
Okay.
Certain things they want done. I'm meeting with her tomorrow sometime. We're going to discuss budget and state spraying and a few other items. So.
I seen a state truck look like he was trying to do some spraying this morning on the main.
They do have their own spray unit. I don't think it's as accessible as ours is, but they do have something they can spray with. Whether it's just a tank that gravity feeds or I'm not really sure what they have, but I know they have sprayed before. So.
You may not know, the chemicals all in-house?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the ones that she ordered or
The new one.
I don't know what she has had delivered and what she hasn't. So. All right. Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
want to stick around?
Yeah, I'll
'Cause
stick around.
George, guys, you want to come on up?
we need another chair, pull another chair up there.
Yeah. Pull a third chair up if you want.
Sit here, if that's okay with you guys.
That's fine, that's fine.
How are you this morning?
Do you need that map?
I haven't run it.
Okay,
And you guys have a map there.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, the reason we're here, and I've got some information for the commissioners, and need a little feedback, what's going on. We've had several things happen out home, and I don't understand what's going on, maybe you guys can enlighten me. We had on Anderson Road, we had a tree fall on us, it's a heavy steel bridge crosses Elk Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of removing the tree, they put barricades up and closed the road. Our township man finally went and cut the tree off of it. I don't know why they would do something like, why they wouldn't take care of the tree and left it. And now they closed the road for some reason. Maybe somebody can answer that question.
There's the guy that answered, but common sense tells me that it was more than the tree.
Yeah, the tree
It's
just
a-
happened to be the
The
incidental.
bridge is
It-
fracture critical, I presume, or?
Correct. So what had happened is the tree had fallen.
Yeah.
I went out and took a look at it. There looked to be some movement in the bridge from the tree falling. It was such a big tree that we called our engineer in. Our engineer came out and inspected the bridge on site. He kind of showed me some of his concerning spots, and he kind of made the recommendation it'd be better if that bridge were to be closed until replaced or just closed permanently and not reopened. So I brought that to our commissioners. The commissioners looked at the pictures. I told them, kind of everything the engineer thought about it. We all together agreed that it should be closed because of the structure. If you've ever looked underneath that structure with that piling, that was damaged. It's really not a safe bridge to have. Being a
copy
fracture,
of this report, then, or
what's that?
you have a copy
Yeah.
of this inspection?
Yeah,
We've looked
well,
at
not
it
the
already.
current inspection, the one that he came out and.
Right,
But
right,
I do have all the previous inspection reports. Not on me, I do have them.
No.
because it's a,
It's a small bridge, nothing big across it. You guys, I don't know if you've seen it, it's just steel structure.
I thought you said it was
We're
100
talking
feet.
about the Anderson Road truck?
Yes.
115.
Some foot long?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
$500,000
that's
bridge.
a $500,000
Yeah,
bridge.
you don't want to
To
replace
replace
it.
it.
I would.
what's the weight limit on that bridge?
I believe it's 7 or 8 ton. I'd have to look at my inspection report, but
It's a pickup bridge.
yeah.
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 Mhm.
And so now with this thing closed, you know, it causes a lot of inconvenience for the people who use it with the pickups. I mean, you can't take anything big across it. It's too narrow.
Yeah.
And in a perfect world, you want everything up to snuff. But I can't imagine that tree did that much damage. This tree was a big tree.
It wasn't
Well-
the tree, it was inspected a year or two ago. I'm not sure when the last inspection was. But when he came up and inspected it, he said the tree did no damage.
I couldn't
But he
imagine
was
it doing
looking
damage.
underneath and he said, that the piling on this thing aren't safe. It can be traveled, but it's
There's a
a
lot of
huge
money
liability. I mean,
lot
that's
of money's
pressure
been spent
critical.
on that,
All it
yeah.
takes is one failure and the whole bridge fails.
Now, I've got a question. What's the liability if somebody does fall through this? I mean, is the
Well,
county liable?
If it would
If
be
they're under
over,
the weight limit, I would understand if the county would be liable. If they're over,
But, and your weight limit is,
7 or 8 ton.
which would be safe to cross this. We've looked under it too.
Yeah, yeah.
You cross it with a pickup, but I understand the patrol went across it.
Sure.
Is that rated for?
So
It'd
what's
be
the
close.
liability? Is there liability to the county if something happened to that patrol? That's my, I don't want anybody.
if,
a big
I would
liability.
say, we got legal counsel, but if you was over the weight limit,
Then you would be liable.
whoever went through the bridge would be liable, their insurance
That's
would be
my point. I
liable.
didn't want the county being liable,
Yeah,
yeah.
running
Mhm.
an unsafe bridge. That's why I'm bringing some of these things up here. A lot of inconvenience to us and
Well, I guess it's sitting on the township board. My concern is nothing was said to us other than a road closed sign went up. I mean, there was no communication to our township board that we're gonna close this road. This road's now closed. I didn't
Okay.
get any conversation from him.
I'm on the township also. We spend a lot of money, maintaining these roads, and then all of a sudden they're just
And,
not available.
and I guess, is there not a possibility to put a 3-ton? Well, is the bridge unsafe for a 3-ton? That gets a pickup across it. A 4-ton. I mean, you go from 8 to 4. Now, it's just a pickup going to check crops or cattle, which is what typically that road just is used for.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this, and I don't know anybody, you three that's here today would probably cross with a pickup. But how many people out there do we have that's gonna go with a tractor or a grain cart or a
You can't- I
combine?
don't think it's wide enough.
Not wide enough.
But empty semis.
Well, it's,
I had a call on it the other day, say he wants to go down through there with his empty semi and's been doing that.
sure.
So,
I can understand what you're saying, but we also gotta look at, the whole picture.
public safety.
Well, that's what I wanted. If you guys have got a liability, I understand it. If you don't, I don't understand it. Because if you're protecting us from ourselves, that's, it just,
If
You
you
wanna
put a
add-
4-ton load limit up and somebody goes over it with 5-ton
And they go
and
through,
they go through,
they're liable.
they're
they're
liable.
liable. That's what, I don't want the county being any liability. I have to do things, I've got a 3-ton bridge. I've got to cross with my equipment. I got no choice, guys.
Because you got a 5-ton on one side,
And a 3 on the other, and
three
I've
on
got
the other,
no
and there's
choice.
farm ground in between.
Mhm.
So I've got to do it. So I have to live dangerously. And in the perfect world, with that money, you could fix all that. Hey, I'd like to make one point too. I wouldn't be in favor of spending hardly any money on that bridge. That road could come up to the highway on the west side of the creek. I mean, you know where this sets,
I do, yeah.
you know, golly, you know, it costs a fortune to fix that bridge. I don't want to spend any money on it, period. I just like to see it back open, you know. So,
When the,
and
and when an engineer recommends that you probably close it, and we would just drop the weight limit and let pickups through, and somebody would get hurt, they could come back and say, but the engineer recommended closure.
But did he recommend it closure as an 8-ton bridge? Or would he recommend closure as a 4-ton bridge?
Well, I would have to,
Another problem that you probably haven't thought of, every 2 years we have it inspected, and that's a fee of $3,500 on a bridge like that.
That one is pretty.
So, and,
that's
you know,
just
4 years' time, you're gonna spend $7,000 just to have
you
them look
may
at
wanna-
it.
That's what you may want to close that bridge and see about what you guys can do to get that. It's just to be a quarter-mile road, I think, just alongside the creek, come to the highway. That bridge is, it's not.
So
worth
what
it.
you're saying is, you, just to take the road to the bridge,
no.
be able to use that, or
No.
Reroute the road to a new location where it
Just
would
to
hit
the
the
west
highway.
side of
is that an option? I don't know.
I don't know what's involved in
It
doing that.
would cost purchasing ground, building a road, I mean, round is basically a.
Building the road is
Allen
nothing
and-
because it's in the bottom and it's a dirt road, so.
Well, I guess that would be a township road, that would be up to you guys to build.
So anyhow, I don't want to spend a lot of money, but the bridge, I question whether, you know, what those,
Is
What's
that
that?
it just south of 116?
116 here, sure.
On Anderson, over Elk, over
They would have to come clear around that loop, but it would come.
Let me ask you this, because I'm not familiar with the road. I've been down that road.
Yeah.
If we did close that road, what's the alternative? Mile, 2 miles, half a mile to get around?
South of Larkenburg and around. Yeah.
How far?
It's not a big deal, but it's.
3
just-
miles instead of a mile.
And I know exactly where you're coming from, because I know when I come in here and write that check, I used to say I want roads. Now I say I demand roads.
Oh, yeah, okay, so that,
And that's not good coming from a commissioner, but that, I mean, that's,
it just,
Have
it's,
you been underneath the bridge and looked at it?
Oh, yeah, I went down with the engineer.
They got those big 12-inch heavy wall pipes full of concrete, you know, 4 of them out in the middle of it.
Yeah,
It's
the one,
What part's he concerned about giving away?
that, the west side, you see that one's bent, the concrete's broken, the metal's actually ripping. So that whole side is actually failing. And being a fracture critical, it takes one side of the whole bridge fails.
so you'd have to replace
So,
that
I
one
mean,
pier.
in all reality of these rainstorms, all it takes is one big old tree, come down the river, hit that, break that, that whole bridge fails. So in all reality, we almost have to shut it down every time it rains, just in case some big tree comes down and hits that. Or I'd have to inspect it every rain, I'd have to come down there, every day. And so when we were sitting there looking at that and I was looking at all these points, it kind of scared me. I don't even grab my pickup over it anymore just because, or when they were open, I was scared to death to drive my pickup over, just knowing that all it takes is that one member to fail and that whole bridge is gone.
There's a lot of iron under that thing.
I know, it's
have you
And I'm
seen it
talking wood, I'm
firsthand?
talking
like that?
iron.
I
I
have.
haven't been under it,
It's
I've been
bridge.
over
Years
it, but
ago,
that's
north of
been,
that, you know, I've even driven.
6
yeah,
months
spent
ago
a lot
or
of money on it.
something.
Somebody's put a lot of
20 years
reinforcement
or
under it.
so.
I question what that bridge would stand, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure the engineer's
I don't know.
smarter than I am, and he knows how much weight it'd stand, but.
Is that something that the township ought to consider making a minimum maintenance road? Because doesn't that leave the
Yeah.
township, relieve the
Yes.
township?
Yes.
I brought our request.
All of our
for
dirt roads.
Our minimum maintenance with you, and that is
One of them.
one of them.
Okay, so when we get through with that one, now, we've got a bridge south of Arrington, a wooden bridge. And Russell looked at it, and it is kind of, it is deteriorated on one side.
On the west end there, yeah.
But, look, guys, we cross that all fall 5 times a day with 80,000-pound semis. And so then they suddenly close it. Now, that's all right if you've got a plan in place, but maybe there is a plan. I don't know what their plans are to do, but why just close it? This time of the year, there's nothing heavy crossing, nothing like 80,000-pound semis. Now, we cross it all fall, we have no choice.
How
And it
big-
is
how
deteriorating.
big
Now,
is-
don't get me wrong, I understand.
It needs something,
It
yeah.
needs
How big a
something.
structure is it? Two, is it
it's the
two?
one we were talking about this morning
Oh,
where he
what's
said
that?
he took the,
It's on Barton.
I
Road,
see.
I think,
right off of
Yeah,
it.
right
It's,
off, on 222.
222 on
yeah,
Barton.
it's right, the one right north of the Smith Bridge that we
Okay.
closed.
Yeah. Now, I want one more thing. I've got to keep up the tradition of eccentrics from Western Addison County. That's why I'm here. Can't let you guys off too easy. Anyhow, you know, if you had a plan, I mean, I'm sure it's not perfect, and it's fairly stout, or these semis wouldn't be able to cross it. I have to cross it, you know. We need a longer bridge in there, a wider one. Have you got any, what's the plan? I guess I can find out what the plan.
Our plan after we closed it was to go back in there, just fix what's there, and that's it. If we were to widen it, we'd have to have an engineer involved, redesign it. We'd be putting a new bridge in. You're looking upwards 50, 100,000.
Yeah. The only problem with it is it's too close to the county road.
Come
And
off.
You can't make, if it was
It's too
further away
narrow.
from the road,
It's difficult to make. It'd be nice if you're gonna spend money on it, you could.
Could a culvert take that place of that one?
How much does it drain? Quite a bit.
It's really flat, and I mean, there's a lot of it's backwater. It's just stagnant water, basically.
he said,
like a-
would a culvert take the place of the bridge? Could it?
I would assume so.
The thing that scares me about that is it would take the water that drains, but when that backs up, I don't know, it scares me that that tube would float. It would take that tube and wash it down. That backwater is pretty high through there. Last
I don't
time
think it
that
would
road
float.
flooded,
It's not an iron.
It wouldn't float. I mean,
How much-
it'd have to wash out, and
Yeah,
then
that's what I'm saying.
Like an old,
I don't buy.
a lot of farmers take those old anhydrous,
How much dirt and rocks over the tube?
like 3/8 inch walls.
How much is over the tube?
Covered up at the end of
Now,
It's
this,
a bridge now, so I don't know what you would put over the
I
tube,
see.
depending on your size of tube.
Now,
I don't know how big it would have to be.
How big the tube would have to be.
I don't know, you know, when it floods, it's all underwater anyhow.
You know,
How much,
usually that
how
much
big a
water,
tube you have to
I mean,
carry
it's
the,
not that
the
tall.
flood down through there? It's gonna go over, to the point, it's going over everything anyway.
Most
You
of
guys
that-
know where it's at, it floods.
To me, it don't look like it would. A lot of times when it recedes, it's not going down real fast. Like it would ever carry a real fast stream
No.
through that.
No, no.
Because
Well,
that's-
it's never fast, it's
It
slow
would,
there.
it would carry a fast stream on the initial rain, taking the water from that area to the
Mhm.
river. But then the river takes time to come up, and then the water would back
Back in under.
up through it the other way. And
Just
that would
looking
be a
for
slower process.
I'm not a big like of low water crossings, but is that an option?
No, it's
No,
too deep.
not there.
Too deep?
And it's too close to the
It's right
road.
next
You
to the
couldn't.
county road.
Oh.
How deep is that ditch there? I'm not familiar with that. At the
I'd
bridge.
say 5 to 6 feet. You can't walk under the wooden bridge.
Oh, you can't?
It's 5 or 6
Yeah,
foot.
5 or 6 feet.
I think that putting a culvert in there would be.
A heavy iron culvert, yeah, not aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to be substantial, and it could be wider then too.
So how much costs are, that's cheaper than putting the.
Oh,
Oh,
most
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
You know, it looks like.
Like Swaney got that anhydrous storage tanks, like 3/8 or 1/2 inch thick, however big diameter, 6 foot, whatever.
We
It's
put
not
one-
floating.
We put one of our own over in the
Yeah, for
other side of the
years.
river so we could get across, you know.
Floods all the
Wooden
time,
bridge is
doesn't
too
bother.
narrow,
Yeah.
so we did that.
Low cost.
You may look into that, Seth.
Yeah, we can do that. They sell the rail carts that are
Rail car tanker, something thick wall, well,
I was only aware of that one was closed just the other day because I went across it. In March or
Yeah.
Dad
yeah,
was
that's
with
what,
me
you
and-
know, suddenly to close these,
Plans.
But we all-
don't get me wrong, I know they're not safe, it needed some work.
Well, that
But
one
we
is-
pretty well tested with those semis, you know.
The reason that one
which
was
it's not
closed
rated
there,
for what
Seth,
you're taking
was
across
because
it.
No, no, I agree, you know what I'm saying, Eric.
Pilings on the side were rotten.
We have to,
That's what causes bridges.
you know, we go by the book, sure, we close half the roads in Madison County, you know, we just have to.
Well, we've got so many of them countywide that we're trying to prioritize the ones that are going to be and get everybody a route out. Now, it's not, people aren't going to be happy. There's going to be a lot of inconveniences.
This one, it caused people about 4 mile drive around, you know, and we can get there, it's not impossible.
Well, but the township road on the east side, will that handle anything?
We're crossing the bridge, what
That-
about that bridge, the wooden bridge going north on the
A mile
Bourbon
east,
Road?
or a quarter
Have
mile.
anybody looked on your house? I'm scared of it myself. I go that way with my fingers crossed. And I
Are you going east and then north?
Yeah.
I haven't been on that road, so.
Well,
it's a
that's-
short bridge too.
It's a short wooden
You
bridge.
know, short wooden bridges, I mean, we only have those inspected every so many years.
You know,
They're
I don't know
not
how
like-
safe it is. I know the header wall is not low enough and it washes out under,
Well,
then we gotta fill the dirt.
I think
We've been doing
Armstrong's
that for
fell
years.
through it last time.
Who?
The last time that bridge was fixed, Armstrong's went through it with a grain cart, I think.
Oh,
They
okay.
had issues, so.
I couldn't,
And that's a new bridge a mile south down there on the,
yeah, we've got a couple new bridges on those roads, but new
214.
bridges 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's new to us. So now that, whatever you do, I'd sure like to have that a lot wider, because man, that's tough. You're coming out of the semi and you can't see that. You're turning to the north and you can't see where your trailer tires are. You know, if anybody fell off, it wouldn't be good.
Well, I haven't personally seen the bridges, but it seems like to me, the bridge on Anderson's probably not gonna happen, but if we get a big tube in the other one, that's, could possibly get done, I would think.
I'll make some phone calls, see what I can get on a rail car too. Well, when your engineer closed the one on Anderson, or recommended it be closed, you guys would have to close it. Was there any cost estimate on what it would take to fix that one? Or you're just saying that because it's happened once to that one pier, that you're not gonna take the chance that it couldn't happen again? And so you're not gonna.
Well, initially, it had to be closed immediately until there would be either reevaluation or something, another inspection or something like that.
Or a
Yes.
fix. Being
Yeah.
being fixed. Being a fracture critical bridge, I mean, that's our main priority, replace or remove all fracture criticals. Those, the state wants those gone. I mean, they don't want anything to do with the fracture criticals because they're so dangerous.
Seth, do you have your map? Show them the
Show 'em how many
amount
we have.
of
The green,
bridges that we're gonna have to, I think you said this morning, within the next 5 years, close or replace.
That's my goal.
Yeah, well,
Fracture
but,
critical though, I mean, that's.
yes.
Fracture critical means there's.
colored in
basically
green, I believe.
One failure in the bridge causes it completely fail.
There's no redundancy in it, so if you've got, it's the old type of engineering, and if one thing fails,
Okay, so.
We don't want anybody falling through.
All
Yeah.
ones green with circles are all of our fracture criticals in the county. Those,
that's what we're facing.
they,
So
Okay,
that's
an overlay of our township, where are we starting?
down,
what's your last road there?
Over to here.
Okay, so.
Clay Road.
So,
Right here.
everything, 1, 2, 3, yeah, close that one, so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in your township. I mean, that's looking pretty uniform, other than down here, this one. Maybe 7.
Now, I got one more, and that's got me in a bind. On 222nd Road, there's two bridges. I think, Bill, did you ever go look at that one?
I couldn't find it, to tell you. I went down there to where it looked like there was a real fancy guy that had horses, and I think I was supposed to go east or west, but it went from a good road to nothing kind of a road.
222nd.
The other right.
Those are Georgia's two bridges there, I think, aren't they?
Yeah,
Two 22nd.
Yeah, on 222nd.
No, here.
Up here.
And I think that's the one you said had a crack
Yeah, I
stringer,
tried
and
to
I
stringer.
mentioned that
called
to you.
Seth,
But,
These are the
2.5
two down
years
at the
ago.
Martin.
yeah, those are west of Larry Martin's.
And
These two.
my request was they double stringer so I could get across. The bridges are safe in the middle, but the equipment's so wide, auger wagons, combines, and my duals are clear out the edge. But let me tell you, I about went down. It cracked and that combine, that bridge went like this and I gunned it or I would have been in the creek. And so I called Seth and he said, you can't change the weight limit. I don't want the weight limit changed, I just want the bridge stout. Put double stringers on the edges.
That still won't change the weight limit, even if
Yeah,
it puts
you told me
stringers.
that, and I can't, if I cross the weight limit, I take my equipment, they're all overweight, 3 ton. The school bus crosses and save your net, guys. I
Yeah.
can't pay attention to the weight limits, I can't. I just want to stout enough so I can cross it. And that's been 2.5 years ago, and it's still cracked. I guess, did you ever see the crack?
Yeah, I've been down there. There's multiple bridges, multiple bridge with stringers that are cracked. I mean, it's,
I mean, it cracked it
I don't-
down. I was looking at falling in the creek, and luckily I made it on across.
there's a short period on when we have enough time to get bridge work in. I mean, we got road asphalt work for a certain seed and chip seal, and then we have a little bit of winter when we're trying to do culvert bridges.
I
and
thought
line yards.
almost 3 years was long enough, and I've talked to
Well,
Seth 2 or 3 times. That's why I come to you guys. I had enough. I tried to be reasonable. and
I don't want to put the blame on somebody else, but we're fairly new commissioners and we inherited a mess.
Yeah,
And in the past, they just didn't have the money to overlook it. We've been probably more aggressive than they've ever been. We've rebuilt how many? 12 or 14 in my time since I've been here,
and I don't.
or new or rebuilt.
It costs a lot of money, but it looks like I could double string it or do something to make it stouter. Now, you guys know what you can do. If I was a farmer, I'd fix it. I'd figure out a way of fixing it. I'd use some common sense and we fixed some things, but I don't see that going on. That's just my opinion. It's probably wrong, but that's what I feel.
Can it be double string?
Can, but it's not, I mean, I still wouldn't recommend farming equipment across. I know you have to, I know you have to.
Look,
I
guys,
just, I,
you know,
It's
I
been-
don't care what you
it's been
do.
3.5
I gotta do
years.
it. What else am I gonna do?
If it's been that long, have you been going across it since?
I go around, and that's a 5-ton or 6-ton bridge,
Mm-hmm.
so I go across a 3-ton.
Hmm.
You tell me that's right. Scares the daylights out of me, but I got no choice, guys. They used to have a combine that would cross it. It was a little case combine, but I ain't going back to using it.
Yeah.
You know, and equipment's gotten so heavy, and that's what you're up against. I realize nationwide we got a problem.
Not only are the bridges deteriorating and standards changing, but the equipment size and weight has went up.
I
So
realize you got a
Incredible.
terrible thing to figure out, but
it's what you guys, right when I got on, had replaced a couple of bridges, and one of them was right on the east side of Muskota going north. And Husker Steel Bridge, to me, it looks fantastic. Well, they instantly had people comment, well, we can't get across it with our combine with duals with this new bridge. So
With
even that isn't good enough.
Short railings and stuff.
Yeah, they've got railings on it. So even the new bridge was getting complaints because it wasn't big enough for the big
Yeah,
equipment.
One of them duals are wide. That's why I've got wide dual. Oh, 16, 17 feet, something like that. It's
Mhm.
wide. I straddle the fourth
I didn't know these bridges were. all-
row, and on the outside between the
These
fifth
three.
and sixth.
This,
Is that right, or sixth?
this is my farm ground right here.
I gotta have an 8-row head,
Really
so it's,
well.
Mhm.
they're out
And
there.
it's got high beams.
Yeah, I'm between the 7th and 8th row. Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
these
straddling
don't, I
the fifth
haven't
and
seen
sixth.
them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If we would have Seth go out there and put stringers, it's not gonna help the weight limit,
No,
and you're gonna be over the weight limit, and you fell through, you would be liable.
yeah, that's what I say. That's why I was asking if the county's liable. If we're liable, then we gotta take it at our own risk anyhow. You know, I don't want the county to be liable for anything.
You would be liable if you were over the weight limit.
Yeah, and I am. Steph asked me what I weighed, I wouldn't tell him. I don't even know, it's heavy. I guess my term, I said heavy. Too heavy. But
Yeah.
what am I gonna do, you know? It's pretty stout bridge, the semi, you know, of course it loaded all the time, nobody else would. I gotta be a little tense to do things like.
Well, see,
Well, you gotta
That's
be a
what-
little bit be farming.
yeah.
Well, that's all I've got, guys. I appreciate your time.
Any input, Seth? Is stringing an option, or?
I can put stringers on, I can't guarantee anything with that much weight.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know the
We
answer.
can try,
It's not a long bridge. And you ever
to do
use I-
stringers, I mean, it's a challenge getting stringers, it's a very time consuming, we gotta rip the whole deck up. And then,
Oh,
so it is time consuming, that's probably why. I haven't
chances
done it.
are the
it's
deck
basically just
would
put like
be
12 inch
replaced.
heavy steel I-beam on each edge.
That's something that, I
It's
mean,
not
that'd
gonna break.
be engineered, I mean,
I'll engineer it.
you
I've
can
done
use
stuff
common
my whole
sense on
life.
it, but then
I'll engineer it.
I go
for
in
you.
there and,
This 3-ton bridge I go across is long.
We've been building something.
Scares me.
in my
Leave a
whole life.
3-ton weight limit on there. We're fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
We don't
That puts
care.
us in the, you know, I'll take, I gotta
We're
take
in the,
this
we're in the wrong if
if we break it.
structure.
I don't
You
want
got a little
Yeah.
bridge there too, you know, North Larry Martin, you know, you gotta cross, I mean.
Yeah, we've got to. so.
Well, you had a bridge, Mr. Oswald,
That's not a
about
problem.
width
You guys
or
got a problem.
your
just-
combine,
and
or is this the
well,
same bridge, or is this a
No,
whole?
it's in the
different?
same area, but it's,
Around the same.
And I think we had that in the works, didn't we?
if you fall through.
I don't remember which one
we
this,
have two of them.
I think
on the
those-
county road just real close to it that he has something
In the works.
as the fracture.
critical.
Critical.
The one that I was discussing
That's why I don't go
is
across
not
it.
so, it's a fracture.
I should.
And I know steel costs money, but if the guy could put a big steel I-beam on each edge where most of that weight is, it's gonna make a huge difference, I mean, however you have to engineer this.
I don't know how you, well, you wouldn't get it, if we went through our regular engineer, they probably wouldn't approve it, so we just
No.
have to.
No, you.
What would you set the I-beam on? Is there a wall?
Well, not really. You can't, if you go in there and alter something and then it would fail, your inspection wouldn't save you. I mean,
They inspect these wooden bridges, all of them.
We have to. So, all the bigger ones.
20 foot, and then the county actually will every so many years, I don't remember last time they did it, inspect
I
the
don't-
ones under 20 foot.
I think it was 2 years ago, we had every bridge inspected, every bridge marked, pictures taken of the bridge, and we got, Mr. Denton has
You can-
the specs and everything.
Federal regulation,
That's something we come up with just to see what kind of shape our bridges are in, because
You guys,
KDOT mandated.
KDOT mandated it,
Yeah,
okay.
KDOT.
That's my
so
question.
you guys inspected them, or a state inspector, a certified inspector? Who-
Certified
a
inspector.
Certified inspector.
Yeah.
Takes pictures. and-
Yeah,
Numbered the
it's
bridges,
on a
took
computer. You
pictures.
can look, download, and look at any bridge and see the piling, whatever, on that.
Building bridges out of wood, I know Jackson County's gone to some of those kind of Ripley, they're
Hmm.
all steel. Is that what you were talking about, that one probably? But
The Husker steel, yeah.
then they put a little.
It's
skin-
basically a kit
They
that
put a
you.
skin of concrete on the top, it's just a little short bridge, but there's no wood.
Oh no, this is pretty big. These were pretty big
But
bridges.
there's no wood, right?
No,
No,
When's the last time you built a cow lot out of boards? I mean, steel is what,
You're right.
it's gonna outlast anything wooden by, the same thing in a bridge.
right. Well, what I'm saying is, if you go into re-engineer
Mhm.
a bridge,
Yeah.
and well, you change the original engineering, or then you would have a failure.
Yeah.
That would come back on the county. So that you got to be careful not to just
So if you put
to
the double-
first do no harm.
Yeah.
Put it that. That's what I'm
If you do
saying.
the double stringers, you don't have to re-engineer anything.
Okay, but
If you go back to wooden stringers, is that right?
but would that make the county liable?
that makes more sense to me. But when
Yeah,
we
I
start
would sue you.
putting
Drag the
putting
I-beams
something
out
else
there, they'll
in
get put in.
is, excuse me.
You guys drag the I-beams out there, they'll get put in.
Because we as a township can't work on the bridges, right?
No.
We have a little money in the budget, I thought, hell, we could just hire, Midwest or somebody to come in here and put some I-beams. But if it was a monetary deal with you
Mhm.
guys, I mean.
Right.
If you wanna talk about mutually going in on replacing one or something, we can talk that,
Yeah.
or you guys fund it and we contract it.
If you guys do the work or something, we got a little money.
Well, I
in the
mean,
budget.
Reno's doing it, it's our bridge.
You may have money for I-beams, but that was how big was this project? You said could run up to how much?
Yeah, we're not talking millions.
Yeah,
We
Uh,
got 10 grand, I mean.
Yeah, I'll change projects on them midway through.
If there's a bridge out there that you guys want replacement too, then we can't, or we're not budgeting
Right,
for it. If you guys wanna help pitch in, and we'll make sure.
I tell you one thing that did help. We did some bridges for up north, and we had the landowner sign off if those tubes would happen to back water off on that. They were okay.
They were gonna haul
And then it seemed like that we got approved.
Yeah, that was through the Kansas Water Office, and that was the Dennis Bell bridges up there that were in bad shape. But it was back. They were afraid that it was going to back water up onto those people, and then they would sue. So we had to have all of the landowners, and they all had
Signed
to
up.
sign off
And as soon as they
on,
signed off, we got
and we
approved.
got our
I
permit.
think everybody would.
I
would, 'cause they
think
got
you give us
across it,
those
that's
options,
what they
I think we could talk to a lot of people to
Do a
get,
40-foot long.
get those
like I said,
things
rail car
signed.
or a
If
storage tank.
that was an
whatever.
option to put a
Fairly
tube in,
thick.
in
Yeah.
place of a bridge.
Guys, I don't think anybody ever said that, we're never going to fix the Anderson Bridge or whatever. Right now, for the time being, we don't know because we
Okay.
don't have a meeting.
It
and
is
then
not
meeting.
permanently closed.
It's not permanently closed.
Okay.
It's closed.
It's closed as now.
It's
Oh,
permanent. It's permanently.
I think when
I didn't think you'd went through the paperwork on that.
you guys approved it, so I had to go to the state.
I thought I didn't know that it was permanently
It's permanently closed until.
that bridge. Okay, that structure is okay.
Structure is replaced.
What I was
We're not
meaning
able
is
to open that bridge to traffic at all until it's replaced. Or.
Sure would like to see a copy of the
Engineer.
engineer.
okay.
And I would
Okay.
like some
Road, we gotta-
communication
we gotta
to our
maintain
township when
and
something
you
like that
can't,
happens.
Okay, that was lacking.
You know, that's a courtesy to let us know
Yeah.
that that's.
Well, we just got your information. That should have been your contact information and everything at that meeting. That should have been done. Yeah.
My ATV can't cross it, which.
Can you provide, Seth, can you provide them with a copy of the engineer's report on that? Or they can come by your office at some time and show them? Oh, you got it in your truck?
I think it's still in. Or out there,
Yeah.
I can.
Okay.
Okay.
If we're done with that, I would like to submit this to the county commissioners for
Okay.
roads in Capiona Township that we would like some
Minimum maintenance.
minimum maintenance.
Okay, I think what we kind of set up there, we instruct you to go to Roger Denton. He will, well, you got the map already though, so I guess you're ahead of the game.
We've put the places on there we'd like to put the signs, and
And then get with Seth how many signs you want, and I believe the cost was $27.50, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
something like that, and the steel.
Okay, now one thing, minimum maintenance means you still gotta keep the brush off of it. It's just a forgotten road. You still have to do something
It's
to
not,
keep it. It's
It's
just,
half of our roads, so yeah, we're gonna keep
yeah,
grading them.
it's
yeah.
not abandonment,
keep
but
no.
yeah.
it's
We
just,
had one township that even go as far as to put 2 lock gates on it.
Well,
And
we heard that, yeah.
we advised them not to
Yeah,
do
I-
that.
I would-
And
I would
They
concur.
asked for one and ended up, they put up 2 and they,
I heard that, and, yeah. We have a couple roads, but I know of one road we have that, nobody has complained. You can still drive down it with a pickup. There's only pasture there, and people do that. But as far as getting a graded ground, there's too many trees to, but there's a guy that lives on that road that has a little bitty grader. And he grades the half mile of it that people come in from that end.
well, I think the road that we're talking about, the straw that broke the camel's back, this group of people from Kansas City come up and they would even go so far as to bring a skid loader with them. If they did get stuck, they would go down and pull themselves out, and that's what they did. And they really tore the road up.
I mean, with the double lock gates,
Where the double lock gates are now, that was the last straw.
That is ridiculous.
It is. Walk across the yard to see how long before you got the police right there. They think out in the country anything goes.
Oh, yeah, they tear up our roads.
Oh, our roads get destroyed so easily. Kids, you know,
kids and,
not
yeah.
necessarily all kids.
You want-
Well, the local school, I don't think they had it this year. A year ago,
Circles, would be where we would put up
Minimum maintenance
maintenance
signs.
signs.
Boy, you do have a lot, don't you?
It's half our roads.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you think your community lives? You think they're gonna be okay? Well, they have no choice. I mean, they've been dirt roads
We will
probably,
continue to maintain the roads just
like
we
you have
Yeah,
been.
spray the brush.
This just will, liability wise, if they go out and get stuck and tear their pickup up, there was a sign that they had to pass before they got
it's
on.
an awareness thing, if nothing else. Yeah,
Accidentals got them all over the place.
yeah.
Travel at your own risk.
Now, we do have, at the roads you guys have discussed for many months prior to this, the farmers would prefer there wasn't a sign put up there to call attention to that road, that it is a minimum maintenance road.
I understand
Because
that.
then it will start traffic down it that currently is not there.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to turn around down there somewhere.
So what are you gonna do, Greg? Are you gonna put a sign on it or not?
Well, you guys have declared it a township road, is that not correct?
I believe so.
Well,
We're talking
It was-
on Bourbon?
no,
Was it Bourbon Road?
this was the Shepherd.
Martin.
Oh, Shepherd Road.
The road you guys have been discussing for the last few months.
Okay, several times.
Several
So
times.
now I'm taking up the cause, guys. I'm gonna.
Mm.
Well, I tell you what, I want to find out where this is. I know the general vicinity, because I guarantee you there'll be corn planted out there within 20 feet of that line.
I think the road's gonna shrink.
And do you know where it is on there, Eric? Or
Mhm.
go south of Arrington and it just goes back toward the river a little bit to the east.
If they
Yeah.
go right, it's a half mile south.
Right here. Yep. You've got it circled.
Well, because Roger had highlighted that as yellow already as a township road, and that's the only reason we circled it.
I think you talk with those after our
Now,
township county meeting, because we knew this was coming, and I told Commissioner Knoll that I didn't want to say, here, township, it's your problem, you take it.
It's,
we as a township can't open and close roads anyway.
right.
That's
No.
not anything we can do, so that's,
It was, I mean, it really wasn't our decision to open it. It was just that it was the information that we had, it had never been closed.
The information we had, in my opinion, was so vague, you could take it either way and not be wrong.
Well, there was information saying that it was open, but there was nothing to say that it had been vacated in the meantime.
The way I read it, it was quite obvious that they made the motion to have it declared a road, but it never was approved as a road. Now, did I read it wrong?
There was a thing on there that said opened on it.
Mr. Henderson goes, aha, yeah.
People used to live down at the bottom of it.
Yeah, there was, at one time, there was.
And the sad thing is, we're talking less than $20 bill.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
Yes.
And the neighbors said, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it.
yep.
And the owner says, no, that's the
It's
county.
not your bill to pay, is what he told me.
Yeah.
We tried
Get
to
to the point.
Yeah.
hit it all.
There.
I made some phone calls, trying to get it settled, it didn't work. It was a matter of principle for Mr. Shepherd.
Yes.
And we did notice a road on there, straight west of 254th and Bourbon, that, I think Larry Self grades it. I don't think we maintain it anymore, but I don't think it's ever been
Yeah, those two
vacated.
roads I graded when I was on the township, they're township roads, but the guy agreed to take over maintaining them.
But Roger did not mark
And he
them
didn't mark them.
as a township road.
Well, I won't speak for
Oh,
him.
you mean,
They're too far north, 254th Road.
that's
You know
254th.
where they're at, right? Straight
That's-
west of Effingham,
Yeah, that's 254th.
Okay.
not straight west,
Oh,
south.
Straight west of Greg.
All right,
Straight
so
west, yeah.
keep going east.
Oh, you're going, I
Right
thought you was,
there, right there.
There's
See,
two
the Delaware
roads
cuts
each
that in
side of
two.
the river. Those are township, legal township roads.
I won't speak for the other two commissioners, but if a township come to me and says, we want to make these minimum maintenance roads, to me, common sense, I'm okay with it.
And we
It's
know
more your call
You've
than
had township already in and request
some, yes.
yes.
from you, so
Yes.
we're submitting our list of roads.
And I had just asked, because I knew that you guys had developed this, and I think, when was it, who was I talking to? I think it was Seth saying, had we gotten it from you yet? Because I think you had even indicated that you had, well, it was Joe Tolliver told me that you had developed it.
Right, and I talked to Seth about how many signs we would need.
So you
At
already
that
got,
time, he had not priced them and didn't know what the cost was.
wasn't it 2750?
I don't remember the cost.
Yeah, I think so, because he initially.
Now, I don't
thought
think
they-
that was the post. I think that
Right.
was just the
He
sign.
initially thought they would cost between $18 and $20.
Who puts them in then?
But-
You guys or we?
I think Seth,
I think
Well-
township does, don't they?
I think the township does, yes.
I think
Okay, yeah, we pay-
we do
right
speed
here it
limits and, there it is. On these minimum maintenance, that's township's responsibility, because we do speed limits and
to put up
weight
the
limits on the
sign.
bridges. That's our responsibility.
We can order the signs for him, no problem, but.
Well, he's got a map here, what he wants to do.
This is from them.
I don't need it.
You don't need it?
They just gotta tell me how many signs, posts.
Yeah, Roger needs.
Was
it
that
because he needs-
2750 on the sign, then the post was,
Well, it depends on what post they want to do.
I see.
The C-channel post or the square post, or they can even do 4x4 if they wanted to.
But this has already been
I like the
to
little
Roger.
Flat, flat.
I think he gave
See,
them
Jim?
a map, but we need the legal description of each one of the roads.
yeah, I think that'd have to go to
We'll
Roger.
have to push them into the loader.
Yeah.
That'd be nice if they didn't bid.
Let me ask you this, are all the bridges, in your opinion, got weight limits on them in your township? No?
Well, everything over the 20 foot should.
None of the wooden bridges have weight limits.
No, no.
None.
And they over 20 feet?
Well, say none of those two down there do, you're right, some of them do. 20 feet long.
Yeah, I
think they
all. Don't they all have weight limits?
No, none of them on those dirt roads do. This one we're talking about South America.
Oh, okay.
But those two down at Shady Place do.
They do have.
So some do.
On
The
gravel.
length, it's the length is what you're saying. Carl.
Anything over 20 foot should,
Okay.
and if they don't.
If you do, you need to get with Seth and tell him the locations where there isn't a weight limit on it, and then the county needs to get one on it.
On 20 foot. That's
20
what
foot or
we just
larger.
said, If it's 20, if it's longer than 20 foot.
Yeah.
Correct.
20 foot or longer,
And
yeah.
our inspection should state that there's,
Most of them are
or they
shorter
should
than
call
that.
me if
A lot of
there is
those-
one missing.
Yeah, 12,
Yeah.
15.
There's a lot of those shorter ones.
And Seth, I think they were right. I mean, they should have been notified when that was closed. And
And I know I had to make the phone call to, who did I call? I called somebody the morning of that meeting. You guys said I need to check the township. And they said if it's unsafe, yes, we're fine with it being closed. I don't remember who.
So those ones without a weight limit, they're
Joe?
unlimited, is that right?
It might have been.
Well, seeing we
I don't know.
signed off,
think
I
it
thought
was
we
Joe
signed
I
off
talked to.
that it was
Well, Bob Ford
temporarily
told me about the
closed
tree
till we
on
do
it, so I told
something.
Jim to go check
I didn't
it
know
out.
that was permanently
He told me
closed.
backside,
Yeah.
big
When we
tree.
I didn't either.
Call the county.
I'm not trying to blame
Cut
Seth.
that
No.
off. Well,
I'm not either, but I thought it was,
Temp-
it was,
Right, as of today, it's closed
yeah,
until,
until it needed, either got refixed or repaired, worked, or something done.
So that's
So we had to-
open that can of
Yeah.
worms just by contacting them. We got some really unhappy people.
Right now, if that tree hadn't fell on, we'd still be driving across that
I
bridge,
think
my
so.
opinion. That's
Yeah.
just what my 2 cents were.
Well, that does happen a lot. I mean, a lot of times,
Like that, yeah.
a lot of times when, your combine's running and then you slug it with a weed and then that breaks that 1 weak link. So that's kind of what happened is it either got seen or it actually physically broke it or,
Well-
there's something that will call attention to it.
If
If
I,
it's up, come down, we'll crawl under, Derek, and you can see the Mount Iron under that thing, you'll think, holy crap, you could drive across that thing with a tank. But
I haven't been underneath it, but
it's
I
muddy
haven't.
now, you can't get under it.
No, well,
That's, we just kinda question it.
Yeah.
Does
It's down in a lot of them.
does your inspector recommend the closing of roads? I mean, who recommends the closing of the bridge? I mean, not roads, the bridge.
it would be our
Yeah.
inspector.
Inspector, not the
Where's
road.
it at on here?
That is a 16, that's our last actual true state inspection. When
That
he came
wasn't-
out, like,
This
Oh.
isn't the one I wanna see.
well, I don't have the actual, it was his,
He
my
took pictures and
conversation.
stuff, so we need copies of all the pictures he took, his
I can get
opinion
that.
as a professional engineer and all that.
Yeah, this is the last scheduled inspection that he had.
happened in 2000.
But, all right, so then
So
I'll
what
ask,
happened in
Seth,
16?
when did he inspect it most recently?
It was when the tree was laying on it.
Okay, and that would have been 3 weeks ago essentially?
Correct.
And he gave you an inspection similar to this?
He went through and looked at all the members, took pictures, went back to his office, looked at this inspection report, made a phone call to me, and that's where we deemed, he recommended we close it, but it was up to the county to close it. And that's where I came in and made the recommendation, it's probably best, in my opinion, that we close
But there's no paperwork where he recommended to close the
it.
bridge?
Not in this inspection.
He was muddy if he was under there in 3 weeks ago.
Oh, it was muddy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm ready to go, guys.
Before you go, I did find a statute.
Got one
after
mad.
The county, after the township meeting we had, where if you have any township roads that have not been maintained for at least 20 years, the KSA 68-115 requires the owners of the adjacent property to establish a maintainable roadbed before the township has to maintain it. So in that situation where we talked about, I think it was in the 1970s was probably the last time, so it will likely be a minimum maintenance road or declared a minimum maintenance road, but that will not impose an obligation on you to do anything to it since you haven't done it for 20 years. So if you need a copy of the statute, if you give me your email address, I can send it to you.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, it is.
It is, okay.
Oh, Roger.
Hello.
He needs that map.
That map.
Okay.
GT Oswald. Yep, I'll send it to you in a few minutes.
We'll do it. I just
Map of the.
I just have a problem not having a piece of paper like this where the
Okay.
engineer recommended the closure.
Yeah, do we, is that?
We're catching hell every day from guys. We're trying to make some people happy.
Seth, is there any way that you could get something in writing or you could have the engineer contact that township and that way?
Meet us out there at the bridge better yet.
I'll call Dave and see what he can do.
That's,
Have him meet us at the bridge. and we'll
Well,
get
but that's
another-
another,
Well, I gotta
That's
figure
another
out
one
he can sign that.
Yeah,
That's where they
I guess
sign
we
it.
gotta perfect it.
hey, we're trying to work with you as much as we can. I know George is upset, but
I didn't
we're
realize
just going on the
this was,
recommendations of our of our
Okay.
superintendent.
Now,
We just,
you've been doing this for the other township?
Yeah, every township.
So, you know what to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, not a problem. And as a matter of fact, did you guys get a,
Mail will come from Texas.
county map?
Not from me, but that's a statute. It's already sent.
thank you guys.
Did you get a full county map?
no, I don't think we did.
Well, take that. The only thing that's not on it right now is that little Shepherd Road, which got thrown back in there, which I'll show it on here also.
We brought,
The one that's
These were already printed before we got that back on there, but take that with you if you want, and
okay.
feel free to write anything on there you want. I'll get these in the system, and I will create or pack descriptions of all these roads so it can be advertised. Is that what you're wanting?
We did have a question here that,
254?
yeah, we're up here, I guess. This used to be Township Road, and
And it's not showing up.
it's not showing up now.
Let me take a look. Well,
We just didn't know, so.
and I have, all of these are errors that I have found in the last week. So I just run a topology on this. And so you are saying
Right.
that little chunk is
Right.
right there. It is on there now.
Okay,
It didn't show up on there?
well, you don't have it highlighted in yellow, and we just went by.
I didn't do the yellow.
Okay, maybe we did.
Do you want those on as minimum maintenance?
Yes.
I think the yellow is what was put on to be minimum maintenance. So if you want that stretch to be minimum maintenance,
Well-
I will also add them to it.
I thought the yellow was already on there because it was Township roads.
Oh, so you have highlighted, I did not do the yellow.
Okay.
But what about, the township line is on 270. Well, I can't even read my own colors. Okay,
But then,
what about this section? This is also in Capioma Township.
this is Grasshopper Road.
Okay, Grasshopper does all of
Yep.
this. Okay, all right. No problem.
Then that should be highlighted. We should have highlighted if we did that, but I didn't.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Okay, and that's where I'm showing,
No problem.
I'm showing the township line right here
What's that, what's
on
his name?
270. Is that
What's his name?
incorrect?
George Royer, but the other guy that camouflaged
That's
that.
270th
That's,
Road?
Russell Richard?
Yeah, to the north.
Okay.
But.
Okay, so you do have 270th, but you're not doing this chunk
That
here.
is correct.
Okay,
Grasshopper Road.
Township line's miles south of school.
Yeah,
right,
that's,
here's Muskota though.
right.
That's the township line there. This would be in your township, but you're saying
Correct, but
Grasshopper's doing that.
Grasshopper grades it. In fact,
Okay,
they
all right.
just recently asked us to grade this part of it because this bridge is one they can't cross with their grader. It's one of the fracture critical
Okay.
bridges. And so they have to drive around here to come in and grade it.
No problem, I'm just checking because if I put one of your bridges in Grasshopper's territory, I'd probably get criticism.
But it's a Grasshopper road.
Okay, will do. And you want these on as, these are also township roads, and so you highlighted all the
Yes.
yellow. And you
Yellow,
want,
township, and anything between signs or beyond signs, but you would have to
I'd
pass a
stay
sign
away out of
to
that.
get on any of this. To be.
Well, I plan on
you want all
paying
these
if
to
they
be
have
made
something,
minimum maintenance.
but that's
essentially.
basically their
Everything-
office,
Whatever does
somebody in
sign.
that office to
Okay.
promote that party.
And
then
if you want
we
me to take it
attend.
back and
Mhm.
highlight
But
it in
once
a
they
different color
resign,
than
you
the
know.
yellow,
Do
I
this.
can do that.
Do this. Put
How
me an
many
email
minutes you would
address
want
right
it?
there.
Signs, were we gonna need?
I just gave it to Mr. Henderson.
Okay, well, jot it on there for me, and I will send it, actually, I'll do two things. I'll send you a copy of this once I scan it,
I just want to make sure that.
We would have to say minimum.
and I will also then show you what I come up with, and I'll send it to you so that you can check it and
Yeah, I think.
let me know if something's wrong.
Also, Michelle will have all of their contact information from the township, so if you need something, just get a hold of Michelle, and
Thank you.
clerk's office.
Okay,
Thank you for your time, Joe.
Thank you.
No problem. Sorry for some of the confusion.
thank you. Anything else?
No.
Okay, you will want a list of all these roads, though.
Yeah, we'll need
Or
the
your-
description.
Huh?
We'll need a legal description of some sort of it.
Okay,
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
all right.
Have we heard from any other townships, just Capioma and
Mount Pleasant, I
Mount
think.
Pleasant? I mean, has there been any other,
Seth,
no other townships?
Not heard from anybody else.
Okay, I was just wondering if there was,
Meetings and talk to them, but-
if there was anything else pending in the near future. So,
Walnut has been in and got their stuff and talked to us about it, but they haven't gotten us anything back, I know. But, okay,
okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Older unfinished business before the board. Oh, shoot, I was gonna ask Seth.
Yes, I would like to appoint you to the ASF board,
ASAF.
ASFA board, where former Commissioner Jeff Shealy held that position. I'd make a motion you accept, or do you want to wait till Jack's here? Or, well, I don't know, 2 weeks, I say we go on with business, so I would make that motion to appoint you.
Well, that puts me in the position of having to second it. And I don't know if that's,
Well, when there's only 2 here.
yeah,
Does it have to be seconded? If there's only,
Every emotion.
yeah.
you make the motion, I'll second it.
That's worse. Why don't we wait for Jack?
Okay.
And that way, it don't look like,
We can
'Cause-
try.
that was basically kind of, was going to give him all of Jeff's. So if you want to change that, I think it's best if we all three make the decision together.
Okay, I think it should be changed. Okay, I'll make that when Jack gets back.
Okay.
We had a suggestion from the suggestion box that we put a picnic table. It was taped on my desk and I sent it over to you.
I put it in the folder
I
here.
don't know if you wanna, what you wanna do with that.
Again, that's something that can wait for, I mean, it's good to discuss it and kind of, but I don't think we want to act hastily on that. Well, I think we would even want Joe Bowen's
Okay.
opinion from everything from where it would be to mowing around it to, you know, there's all kinds of incidentals that would be taking care of it.
Okay,
this and
we'll
that.
table that then.
Michelle had brought, Michelle had brought something up to me, and in her training, she found that most counties, when they record their meeting, will then, after the minutes are adopted, they delete the video because there can only be one official account of the meeting. And so I don't know whether, I don't know if that would be popular with the public. I don't know if I really care if it's online or not, but it brings up discrepancies of when you have somebody goes back, maybe don't read the minutes, but they say it clearly states here, but then the adopted official minutes are the official record of the meeting. So I think there needs to be a clarification of either we need to delete them or possibly even put a disclaimer on the video after the 2 weeks that this is an unofficial record, that things, and I don't even know if that would suffice.
Can't do that, can you? Official meeting's official meeting. You can't just say 2 weeks from now, well, now it's unofficial.
Well, we would have approved the minutes. The minutes then would become the official record of the meeting. And if they watched a video and thought it said something else, I think that we need to make one set the official record of the meeting.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there probably ought to be a disclaimer on the video that says that this is, if you keep it, that it's to supplement understanding of the official minutes or something like that. It's not the official record.
Yeah.
So that's true.
I think that that's something that I've been wanting to bring up, and I think maybe you would want some time to look into maybe the best options to take care of that. It's been this way for this long, but so if we change it, we want to make it better, make it right, and so if it, within the next couple of weeks, we can revisit that. But it's something that really stuck into my, because it struck a chord with me when she said it. It's like, yeah, we basically could have two competing sets of records. Somebody says, well, it says this. Well,
sometimes
our official-
when a person looks at the video, they may take it,
mhm.
when it's not perfectly clear, you could take it either way. They take it the other way, and then the minutes say just the opposite.
reminded me of something else. So, yeah, we need to change that. Is there any update on the AT&T thing? Have they ever filed anything on the
No.
arbitration?
No, I don't have any update from the last time we talked about it. I can follow up on it.
Okay. Seemed like there was something else. When was the hearing on the Wynn property? Is that,
It's already passed.
Yeah, it was a week ago yesterday.
okay, well, they get granted the stay, correct? So then,
We could sell the property.
yeah, we can,
Right.
and so I guess maybe my next question is then when, has that been scheduled?
It has not been scheduled.
Okay. I was thinking that we still had another hurdle to jump through before we went to the sale. That's where I was.
I
mistaken.
think, in the minutes stated, and I think I brought the question up, should we notify Wins to see if they're gonna pay their full share of taxes before we go to all this extra work of listing it, and then they come up and pay them off, and then the sale's off again? Yeah, I think that's stated in the minutes, if I recall.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we kinda left it.
I think that's what I was thinking of going through. That was where I was thinking that we had another hoop to jump through, that there was more, but it wasn't a legal question so much. Pat, do you have any county councilor updates?
I don't have any, no.
And no more public comment? Any need for an executive session? I'll take that as no. Seemed like there was something else I was wanting to bring up.
Who gave you this, Jamie?
I-
Oh,
You
you
gave
did.
it.
Are you gonna do something? You know,
I think we do that after the meeting. I mean,
Either
it's,
that or go in exec. I don't know
well,
if that's
that's,
something-
Personnel, well, no, it's not.
I don't know if that's something
I
that,
think that's usually generated within the office, isn't it? And then they, oh, they are. Well, then
Okay.
somebody needs to come.
Well, we've only heard
that's not something that's,
shopping. I mean, we've got the window they were talking about, we were doing a check, and someone was talking about it. And, talking about it. I didn't know when it was, I didn't actually hear it, but Bree said she heard we were talking about having.
Should we ask Emily to come in?
well, I don't know if that's something that, I mean, that's just kind of, I don't know if that's something that we need on tape. I mean, it's just in our
It's not-
office.
it's not
Yeah,
really
it's not
business.
official county business, is
That's
what I'm
true,
saying.
that's true.
That's what I'm saying. It's inner office niceties. So, well, if there's no other business that anybody can think of, I'll.
Mr. Chairman, I so make a motion that we adjourn at 2:15.
I'll second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 2-0. Oh, dang, there was something. Right there. What,
Well,
The-
I
the-
think
what-
you can still reopen. You can still go.
I'm sorry.
okay,
Have you turned that off yet?
no,
You can still.
okay.
you can
I
have a motion.
make a motion to reopen our meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, we're reopened at 2:16. I told you there was something else. And we need to find someone to do an inter-office check on the treasurer's office, being that we have our treasurer's retiring and we have a new person will come in who we don't know who it will be yet. But anyway, Jamie had contacted Patsy Porter and seen if her outfit could do it, her office, and she declined. So I don't know whether they're busy or whether it for any reason, but she did suggest two different entities that might be able to do it. Her email reads, I suggest you contact B-E-R-B-E-R-I-C-H Tranhan in Topeka or Tony Kramer in Leavenworth. that, and I don't know either of those people, or I don't know if there's, I mean, I'm open to any firm or that could do this for us. I do take a recommendation, I mean, highly. I mean, if those have been recommended by Patsy, to me, it's instantly got a foot in the door, so.
I've heard nothing bad about Mr. Kramer. I know him. He's very hands-on. He's very knowledgeable. And that would be my recommendation.
Pat, can you contact him and see if they're available?
Yes, if he's not, what do you want to do?
I would contact the second one.
Burbridge, Trahan,
Yeah. How do you pronounce that?
Burbridge.
Burbridge. Okay. Never heard of the name before. Sorry. No offense meant. And if they both decline, I don't know. We need to have this done in a short time. We need to have it in place. It's just common practice to.
If those two decline, do you know anybody else here in town that's capable of doing it?
I could talk with Patsy for sure.
She didn't want to do it.
Right,
No,
but no
for
to
rec-
so another recommendation.
I see.
Stephanie Regan probably.
I had sent you an email. Is there a?
I put the, I know what you're going to ask.
Mhm.
I put the question on the county councilor listserv, and the only response I got was, yeah, it seems like you ought to do something. But that was it.
Okay. So it don't sound like there's any specifics or really something to follow or a guideline to follow.
I didn't check if anyone answered today, but that was, I think, last Tuesday I put it on.
Okay. I really think that needs to be done. I guess I got a
Sign
couple
off
of
on
those.
those. I don't think we did we?
I haven't signed off on those. A lot of times we do that after.
We need to do that. Yeah, we better do that.
Shelley never did bring back her PO for us to sign.
Yeah, yes, she did.
Oh, she did. You got it. Okay.
You want to look through these?
I will. I need to.
Well, are you still looking there?
I
We,
didn't get started. I assumed I'd do it after the meeting.
okay. We have Shelley Nelson had brought in a Kansas Community Corrections Act 2017 quarterly budget and adjustment report that she needed signed off on.
You have see any problems with this? I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we signed off on the Kansas Community Correction Act 2017 quarterly budget adjustment report in the amount of $7,146.40.
I'll second that.
I think it's just your signature.
I'll second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 2-0. Do you want? Yeah. Now I'm gonna double check. Now I know I've got everything. that, shall we sign off again?
That one you want to look at. You think we got all the bases covered now?
I do. I knew there was something.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we adjourn at 2:22.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 2-0. We are adjourned.